York's classic rock. Q1043.
All right, welcome back. Jonathan Clark in the studio with Aaron Bruno of AWOLNATION. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. How are you?
You're looking very Malibu right
Am I?
now. Yes, you are. You got the beard.
I got this shirt strangely in Rochester, New York.
Did you really?
Only 4 days ago.
And we were talking about Ace Ventura. You almost have the Ace Ventura look down.
Yeah.
You just need the Ray-Bans and the 70s Dodge.
Close but no cigar.
Yeah. Let me hold up the new album here. Fantastic new album. It's called Here Come the Runts. And Aaron and the band are playing tomorrow night here in New York City at Terminal 5. And all the tour dates right now at AWOLNationMusic.com. So this album recorded in your home studio in its entirety. Is that the first time you've done that? The whole album in the home studio?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I waited until the studio was done to record any songs. Leading up to that, I was writing a lot, and we had what's called El Nino last winter, so we got a lot of rain, and it was really nice for a change in California, of course, to be writing during a beautiful rainy winter. I know that sounds like blasphemy on the East Coast.
No.
But it was outrageous, and it was so beautiful. The waves were incredible, and I feel like all the stars aligned for me to kind of just focus on the writing and the craft and the lyrics and the simple melodies and chord progressions before we went into the actual studio and hit record. And, you know, like this winter, it rained once, I think, and terrible fires and all this stuff. So that record, when I listen to it or see any of the artwork, it holds the spirit of that El Nino winter.
Oh, nice.
Really
okay.
Nice for me.
Well, having your own studio probably saves you a lot of money, too. You don't have to go
it wasn't cheap to make.
Oh, that's right. You got to make it first.
Sure,
yeah. And this is Malibu, California. I read that there are only 3 restaurants in your neighborhood that you can get delivery from.
Correct. Yeah.
Wow. So you're not like in Malibu, like the Village. You're like further out.
Malibu's pretty small. I think that, you know, when people hear about Malibu, they think of Baywatch and the glamour and stuff. And there's quite a bit of
slow motion running on the beach and
a lot of pecs.
Pecs. Right.
Other body parts, but we'll concentrate on the pecs for now. But it's you know, like we're at the bottom of the totem pole as far as attention goes. So it's kind of nice. We just, exist in our own world, and then you'll go get a smoothie and see just the most absurd celebrity.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's nice to get away from the big city, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so when you come to say like New York or say Chicago or Boston or Dallas, are you like, if you're there for like 48 hours, you're like, okay, I'm ready to leave? Or is it, I don't know what it's like for like, for example, you coming to New York City, do you enjoy coming here? But you probably don't have a lot of time here, I guess, right?
Today I haven't had much time, but I'll find little pockets here and there. And New York's incredible. I mean, there's a lot of great restaurants we love, a lot of cool like vintage clothing stores we can check out, and healthy, forward-thinking spots as well. Great coffee. It was impossible to get a good espresso the last 3 days, and then this morning I finally had.
You got the rocket fuel, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. The new album from AWOLNATION, Here Come the Runts. There are a lot more guitars on this album.
Yep.
And I read that you wanted to make a rock and roll pop album, hearkening back to albums you mentioned, like Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA, maybe a Cars album, maybe a Dire Straits album, or a Tom Petty album. So did you hear that music growing up yourself? Did your parents play it for you?
It was just of the times, you know. Growing up in the 80s and being a sponge with music and pop culture in general, I just feel like that was such a great time, you know. In the 80s and in the 90s they were great times to listen to popular music, because that was, you know, an era where music that had guitars and had a little bit of risk and danger was still being played on popular radio as well. And, you know, times have changed. That's when rap music and hip hop were underground and felt like, to me, you know, the last true form of punk rock in a lot of ways, because I missed the boat of you know, real punk rock crossing over.
Right.
So when I became hip to music that wasn't on the radio because of my older brother, that was heavy metal and rap music. You know, I was so lucky to be around, you know, that whole golden era of hip hop and rap music. I feel like it was called rap.
It was
raps and everything before like Young MC Hammer and Vanilla Ice and, you know, the
and that was
Beastie
pop,
Boys and Run DMC kind of blew it all open.
Right.
but yeah, on the radio, there's a lot of rock and roll music that and I say pop because it was popular, not necessarily
Right, exactly.
what people think of as pop, like Taylor Swift or something like that today, you know. But and it was just a great time, you know, great massive rock and roll albums that it would be nice to hear something like that now.
Was there something about Springsteen's Born in the USA that really sort of hit home for you, or just?
Yeah, absolutely. Just hit after hit after hit. Just great songwriting. There's something about that album that dives into this nostalgic feeling, I think, for me, or the idea of how high school was supposed to be, or some high school reunion, right? Or the acknowledgement of the country that he, you know, was born in, for better or for worse. Which is funny because obviously a lot of people have used Born in the USA as a pro-American song when really it's just him talking about just where he was born.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan, I think, or somebody did.
Yeah, they missed the boat on the meaning of the lyrics, I think.
Right,
you know?
yeah.
And so, you know, there's a few moments on this record that touch on that feeling a little bit.
And it would have been Kurt Cobain's 51st birthday the other day. I know that band was a huge influence on you. Mm-hmm. Were you even old enough to see them live, or even have a chance to see them live? Or
I had a chance, but I didn't ever get to see them live.
Oh, okay.
I was a little too young to I didn't have a license when it was an option to go see them play, you know, and then of course he passed.
Yeah. The title of the album, Here Come the Runts. Did you have a litter of kittens recently, or?
Well, my wife fosters a lot of puppies.
Oh, okay.
And you know, we always are drawn to the runt of the litter in a lot of ways. And
I am too, actually.
I mean, you know, they have to scrap a little bit more. They're overlooked in many cases, and, you know, they shouldn't be. And a lot of people who are sort of against all odds and are maybe unnoticed, I think, with all the obstacles, end up being stronger and, you know, have to find a different way to stand out. And that even goes in the music industry as well. You know, that it felt like that for me anyways. I had two record deals, both totally failed.
Right.
And I was damaged goods in the industry, so, you know, I became a runt by design.
Yeah.
Accidentally in a lot of ways.
But you're right about being a runt. I mean, some of the runts really go on and really do great things because they've worked harder. They appreciate it more or something like that.
Yeah, the struggle is everything in life, I think. And especially with music, when there's some sort of element of an uphill battle, you know, to get to a point, there's, you know, you could appreciate the highs a lot more when you had to walk through the swamps of the lows.
Like, how do you appreciate good if you don't know bad?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
The first song that was released as a single is called Passion, which definitely has that, I mean, I can say this, classic AWOLNATION sound, which is a good thing. I mean, it sounds like AWOLNATION to me, yet it's new and different. And I read that you just wanted to write a song that you were passionate about musically, and the video for that song. Where was that shot? First of all,
it was shot in Brazil.
Okay, and who is the guy on the skateboard?
His name is Og, and he, you know, clearly doesn't have use of his legs, but he figured out a way to overcome that by skating. You know, instead of cruising on a wheelchair, he was so passionate about skating that he just figured out how to not only travel around from point A to point B, but do tricks and bitchin' maneuvers.
I saw the tricks,
which is really cool. And
he wipes out even.
He wipes out, which was really cool to see. You know, I always love the skate videos where you get to see, you know, the failures and the trial and error.
Yeah.
And, I was just blown away that he agreed to do the video and wanted to do it. And my buddy Ravi, who directed it and also directed the video for Handyman, he had worked with him in the past, and he reached out to him, and we were just blessed that he wanted to be a part of it.
And it's really cool watching him get up in the morning, get on the bus.
He has a family, good guy, you know.
Yeah.
And I didn't go to Brazil personally, but and the best thing about the video is I didn't have to be in it.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Situation.
Easy job, easy work for you. There's another great song on the album called 7 Sticks of Dynamite. And the video has Rick Rubin as a bartender. Duff McKagan is chilling in the background, and it all ends up in a wild bar fight. And you have a unique relationship with Rick Rubin. Tell us about that.
Tim Comerford from Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
Reached out to me, this was like 5 years ago now, to do a remix for his side project. I did it. We became really good friends fast. He's just a great guy, and we just hit it off and have this insane relationship. There's been a few times where he almost became our bass player, but he's just so insane that would be like full.
I think
press,
he came by here with what band was that?
Probably Prophets of Rage or maybe Audio Slave.
It might have. Yeah, it was one of those. I know he's been here before, but yeah, go on.
So and Rage is one of my favorite bands of all time. So like I felt so cool that this guy was my buddy, and then now we're just friends. And then so Tim told me that Rick was a big fan of AWOLNATION, and then so he connected me and Rick together. Because of his relationship with Rick from the records he made with Rage. And so I reached out to him, and we set up like, a listening date, and I just kind of went over to his place, and I shared,
sort of neighbors, I'm thinking,
kind
sort of.
I mean, a different kind of neighbor. He's in a totally different dimension than me.
Call it Shangri-La.
Yeah. But I first played him music at his home. He had me over, and he was just a sweet man. A long time ago, my band Hometown Hero showcased for him. And he thought he said some nice stuff, but he thought we weren't ready, and he was completely right. We were not ready, and I don't know if we were ever ready, honestly. But anyways, full circle, we have this really cool relationship. I feel very, very honored to have, where I get to play him. It's kind of this little ritual we do. Before Run came out, the last record, I played him like 25 songs, and then for Runts, I came over and played him the record. I'm nervous the whole time. My armpits are sweating, because I don't want him to, turn to me and go, "This relationship is over. This sucks."
You know what? You're not ready.
Yeah, you're not ready. Yeah, I thought you were, but you're not. But yeah, so that was really cool. And I was saying earlier, his ears are so advanced, and he's heard so many great records and made so many incredible records that have intense volume that he listens a little quieter than I'm used to. So the ego and insecurity in me comes out a lot when we're listening. I'm going, turn it up, man.
Right. Oh yeah.
But yeah, he approved, stamped and approved, and that was cool. And then I asked him to be in the video, and I didn't think he'd even show up, because he said, sure, I think I can do it if the schedule's right, and he just showed up.
Wow. And he plays does he play a bartender?
No, my buddy Alfie, who's on the record cover, he's the bartender.
Here is Alfie.
And he was on
who amazingly kind of looks like Rick Rubin.
Well, they have
from the side.
A bitch and beard.
The bitch and gray beard, yeah.
Alfie is just my neighbor and a good friend, and really inspiring dude who collects and hoards different guitars, different records, and just salt of the earth kind of dude. He was actually in the first season of American Pickers.
Oh, great!
Which I didn't know until way after, and I just saw him like, wait a second, I think that, and so I had a great time watching that. We filmed the video for Handyman on his property, which was in the first season of American Pickers, and so he's the bartender. Rick is just kind of a dude chilling
looking over his shoulder.
Rad.
Yeah,
Rick's got beautiful eyes too.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody knows, but he's kind of got this mesmerizing, charisma, and so I was glad that he came.
And Duff McKagan, just a pal, just said.
Duff's a pal, yeah.
Yep.
Same thing. Heard that he was a fan of the band. He had a relationship with my drummer Isaac, because Isaac used to play in his band Loaded.
Oh yeah, okay.
And so to go full circle, he's played bass with us on a couple. We did the K-Rock Acoustic Christmas at the Forum in Los Angeles, which walking to the Forum is just the coolest thing for me, because being a Lakers fan from the 80s,
of course,
Showtime Lakers is really cool to play there, And so he played a couple songs with us there, and then another show in Seattle, and I'm just going on and on, I know, but his daughter's in this cool band called the Pink Slips as well, and my drummer Isaac is producing their EP right now. So to go full circle, it's kind of all in the family.
Yeah. I noticed there is an AWOLNATION bottle of whiskey in the Seven Sticks. There's no sort of brand extension going on?
It was completely fake. It was just a prop. And they made these cool breakaway bottles. So when I broke the bottle, the bad guys had I'd never done any movie prop kind of stuff. It felt like the first time I went to Universal Studios as a kid. I had to learn how to throw a movie punch and how to take one, and it's not as easy as it seems. And I'm not suggesting we did a good job by any means. But
no, it's a good video. It's a really good video.
The bottle's very fragile. It'll shatter if you swing too hard.
It's like made out of sugar glass or something like that. It's very fragile.
They're like, don't squeeze too hard. And of course, I was holding it, and I just squeezed, and it just shattered. So then brought in the other one.
He is Aaron Bruno, the band AWOLNATION. The new album, Here Come the Runts, and they're playing tomorrow night at Terminal 5 here in New York City. I want to get to Handyman. That's the song I've been playing on the show recently. I noticed some surfing footage of you in this video for this song. Is that like outside in the backyard for you, basically? Or is it, oh, God. I mean, did you
It's
ever...
not the backyard. It's like a 5-minute drive.
Oh, okay.
But
so
to speak.
Growing up, did you always want a place on the beach where you could just walk outside? And...
Yeah, that's the ultimate dream, of course.
Yeah.
But I was living down on the water in a very, very small little condo. And then my wife and I decided it was time to expand and go to a place where I could build a studio. And,
yeah.
So I just moved up in the canyon. And I like the balance of nature and trees and dirt, and having the ocean down there as well. Because surfing is like a seductress, it can suck you in and really make you not very productive at times when the ocean is just calling to you, so it's nice to get up in the hills a little bit,
Yeah. Do you know the guys in Switchfoot?
I don't, but they surf really good. I watched that documentary at some point, and they surf real good.
Yeah. His name is Aaron Bruno, the band AWOLNATION. Everyone go out and get the new album, Here Come the Runts, and see them on tour, awolnationmusic.com, and they're playing tomorrow night right here in New York City at Terminal 5. Aaron, congrats on making a killer record, dude. Seriously.
Thank you for all your kind words.
Oh, man, I love it. And stay safe on tour, break a leg, as they say, and come back here anytime.
What if I did actually break a leg?
Well, then you'd have to call Dave Grohl, I think, or something like that. Thank you, man.
All right, brother.
New York's classic rock, Q1043.